thank you to everyone who's joined us this afternoon. You're joining us here at a very sunny Liverpool, which is fantastic. It's been absolutely glorious the past couple of days and over the weekend, and we absolutely can't wait for you to come and join us physically on campus at the start of October. So my name is James. I'm the Deputy Student Recruitment Manager here at Liverpool Hope University. So I may have spoken to a number of you previously in the Welcome Talk and the Welcome to Your Summer of Hope programme, but I'm going to be delivering our Support at Hope talk today. So my role primarily includes supporting students before they come to university, giving them the advice, the guidance that they need to join us and to make the right decisions. And then I'm going to talk to you today about the support that we provide to students once you join us. We're well known for the support that we provide to our students, given the close-knit community, the size of our cohorts, and we do provide that really tailored support for our students. So that's what we'll be talking to you about today, but hopefully throughout the other sessions that you've had as part of your Summer of Hope, you'll already have got the feeling about how much of a community and a supportive environment Hope is. So I'm joined today by Laura, who's part of our team in the student recruitment team and who is also a recent graduate. So Laura, do you want to just tell us a little bit about your background at Hope?
Yeah, so I graduated last year. I studied English, Lit and Media, and I now work as kind of a graduate advocate. So I've really got kind of that perspective on being a student at Hope and what support I've accessed. And yeah, kind of just here to give another perspective on kind of the student experience. And I love my time at Hope and I felt really supported. So
that's lovely. Thanks very much, Laura. Really happy to have you with us this afternoon. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk briefly through the types of support that we have available to you at Liverpool Hope. And we have a video that's been prepared by one of our experts in our wellbeing and support team. And then there'll be the opportunity to ask any questions that you do have. And we'll be giving you information about a drop-in session with our experts in the support team, which is taking place tomorrow. So without further ado, we'll make a start. So here at Liverpool Hope University, we do have a number of different avenues that you can access support during your time with us. Now, this support is in place. Oh, got a little bit of thunder going on here in Liverpool. Don't know if you can hear that if you're joining us from elsewhere in the country or internationally. So here at Liverpool Hope, we have a number of different avenues that you can access support through. So you can access it through some of our dedicated teams, but support is also woven throughout all of our different support services that we have available, things like accommodation. So we'll talk through these individually and what support they may provide to you. It may be that you have additional support needs that you're already aware of. Now, if that's the case, obviously you'll be joining us because you have an offer to study with us, which will hopefully be confirmed in the next couple of weeks, and you can start making your final preparations to join us. But you are welcome to contact any of these support services in advance of you joining. That can be either because you have concerns about your time at Hope and you want to get some support in place, or it may be that you just want some further information about your situation and what might be available to you when you join us. So you are welcome to contact any of these teams in advance of joining us. Just reach out. They're full of lovely people who are here to help you. So do reach out. So the first of our support services that I wanted to touch on today was our learning support team. Now, the learning support team are primarily focused around supporting with academic areas. So it may be that you join us having never done referencing properly before to an academic standard, or it may have been a number of years since you've done referencing. It may be that actually structuring an academic essay is something that you're quite concerned about, or you may just be concerned about how to find the right resources in our library, for example. That learning support team are there to support you with all of the academic side of your learning. So they're based in our library, but you are welcome to book a one-to-one with them, drop down and see them, and to access that support. So that's something that's available to you here at Liverpool Hope. We also have personal tutors. Now, every student joining Liverpool Hope will be allocated a personal tutor, and they're kind of a first point of contact for any concerns, questions that you have, and you'll meet with them fairly regularly throughout your studies. So I don't know, Laura, do you want to tell us a little bit about your personal tutor and how that worked?
yeah, so in my media course, I was assigned Anthony Corley, who was one of the senior lecturers in media, and they kind of, not only do they take your tutorials, so you'll see them once a week, you get to know them really well. So like your tutor gets to know you not on an academic level, but also on a personal level. So kind of there's no awkward buffer between like, you and the lecturer and asking questions. It really does help to eliminate that kind of awkwardness of feeling a little bit stupid, because you do really get to know them and they know you so well that it's a really supportive environment. And then your personal tutors also have like drop-in hours, so if there's something you don't really get, and you need to ask any questions, you can just pop in and really they'll sit down with you, have a cup of tea, and you can kind of talk it out. But it's really helpful, especially like things where your deadlines are kind of close together, or like you might need an extension on something. They're there to kind of help facilitate that, and it's really nice to have like a point of call in the department, so it doesn't feel as daunting trying to get the support you need.
That's lovely. No, that sounds wonderful. And it's great you had a really good relationship with yours. I know speaking to students at Liverpool Hope, that's something that they do say, is that they build that relationship with their tutors. They take the time to speak to and to get to know you individually, as Laura said. So wonderful. In terms of other support that we offer, one of the more unique aspects of support at Liverpool Hope is our resident tutor system. Now, as part of that, you will, if you're living on campus or in one of our halls of residence, there will be a senior resident tutor who essentially lives in the block with you and is there available for support out of hours, is the way I like to think of it. So you have all of the staff that work kind of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but you may require support out of those hours. So overnight or over the weekend, you may need someone to speak to, or you may need to raise a concern with somebody. So senior resident tutors typically tend to be slightly more mature students, so either third years or postgraduate students, maybe those doing the PhD. And their role is essentially to be a point of contact within your accommodation. So they can help you with, I don't know, you've split up with a partner and you don't know what to do, who to turn to, and you just need a friendly face to talk to. It may be that there's some sort of maintenance issue in the block that you're not too sure who to report it to. They can be a wonderful first point of contact there for you. So I don't know, Laura, did you have any involvement with the senior resident tutors? I know you lived at home, didn't you, for most of your studies?
I was a home student, yeah, but I do know now, kind of as a graduate, I know lots of like people who've been on my course or people I've like made friends with who are now resident tutors. So like I know them personally. Hope do really choose like really kind, supportive people. It's very important that the resident tutors are approachable. So I do know that the system really works, and I know that both the resident tutors and the students get something out of it, which is lovely. It's kind of like, it's like having a parent or a big brother or a big sister kind of living in the block, it's nice to kind of have that home comfort almost.
I love that idea of them being like a big brother or a big sister to talk to, because it's quite nice that with the resident tutors, because they are either recent students or, you know, slightly older students, for example, it's nice because there might be an issue that you don't feel comfortable speaking to a member of staff about. So actually having that friendly face there in your accommodation is a lovely resource that's available to you. So I really like that idea of them being like a big brother or sister. That's lovely. And it is definitely how it kind of appears when you come here. It's lovely. We have had a question come in, so I should have said earlier, if you do have any questions at any point, do pop them into the Q&A function at the bottom, but we do have a question that I'll throw over to Laura, if that's okay. So the question is, your personal tutor, is it somebody who specialises in your course, or might it be any member of staff across the university?
No, so it will be a tutor who teaches your course. So if you're doing, say, maths, it will be a maths lecturer. If you're doing English, be English lecturer. They're usually somebody that teaches you. So it might be kind of, you have them for like a lecture once a week, but they'll be in the department that you are studying. So that's really because they can answer direct questions relating to the course then. If we just gave you kind of anybody, they might be like a history lecturer who's got no idea on maths. So it will be somebody who you're usually taught by. They'll teach your tutorial, but they'll definitely be in your department.
That's great. And it's really good, like Laura said earlier, is that it's really good, for example, you need an extension on an essay or something like that, having someone within your department who knows the departmental administrators and, you know, who can be that bridge between you and the support you need from the department. It does work really well. So yeah, thanks for the question. In addition to our resident tutors, who are that fantastic resource available to you almost out of hours and in your accommodation, the university does have chaplains. Now, chaplains are based within, as you can imagine, our chaplaincy, and They will speak to anybody regardless of faith, and be that a Christian faith or be that no faith at all, or any other faith for that matter. They are genuinely very lovely people who are happy to speak to anybody. What I find the chaplains are really good at, and they'll probably kill me for saying this, is I love the fact that they're happy to just have a brew and a natter. You can pop into the chaplaincy centre and just have a supportive listening ear. They're really supportive for that. So it may be that you do have a question about faith, or a question about a particular aspect of practicing a faith, but it may also just be that you need a friendly face to speak to, and that they're more than happy to do that during the time at Hope. So the lovely resource to have, the chaplains, and they have a base on both of our sites, on Hope Park and Creative Campus, so you can pop in and see them at any time. They also run really good events, the chaplaincy, so they do things like the £1 lunch on a Monday, and I found this is a really good area of support. So myself, when I joined as a member of staff, I didn't really know anyone. It was my first couple of weeks, and someone said, "Oh, why don't you pop down to the chaplaincy on a Monday lunchtime?" In pre-COVID times, they do a £1 lunch where they'll make a really hearty meal. So sometimes it's jacket potatoes or really nice homemade soup or a stew or something like that. And essentially you just sit with anybody who turns up and you have a chat over your lunch. And it was lovely. I met students, I met staff from across the university, and I got to have my lunch with them, and it was a really nice extra area of support that the university provide, and that was through the chaplains and the chaplaincy that was provided. Now, in addition to those support services, we also do have our student union. So as you would imagine, you've probably heard of unions previously, like a trade union, that their role is to support people in jobs. A student union is very similar, and their role is to support students in all aspects of their well-being, their life, their academic side. They're there to support you. Now, our student union has an elected body, so we elect a president and 2 vice presidents who look after different areas of student union. So they will do things like running our societies, they'll also do social activities, but a huge part of their role is to provide support and guidance for students. So it may be that you're having an issue with the department and you're not too sure how to approach it. The student union can be that facilitator who are there to represent your views. They're also there to represent your views to senior management. So if you have any ideas, thoughts, areas of improvement, you're welcome to speak to the student union and they can lobby the university on your behalf. So I don't know, Laura, did you have much interaction with the student union?
Yeah, so there was a period within my course where kind of different lecturers were like leaving and joining. It was quite like unstable at one point because my department was quite small. So we spoke to the student union and they kind of helped facilitate conversations between the students and the staff, that we kind of felt awkward going directly to like the head of the department or lecturers, because it wasn't necessarily a big issue, but it was something we were concerned about. So the student union kind of helped become like a middleman almost between the students and the faculty, which was really helpful to get kind of issues discussed and things resolved that may not have been resolved in such a calm manner had we just gone directly to the department.
That's wonderful. And I think that's a really good example of where the university does take feedback on board, and there are channels to express any concerns and issues that you do have. So yeah, that's fantastic. And the student union are really happy to help where they can. In addition to that, we also have specific services for different support that you may need at university. So for example, we have counsellors who work at the university, and you can access the counselling service by referral should you need to. So it might be that you've previously had counselling and you want to make sure that that support would be in place whilst you're studying with us, or it may be that an issue comes whilst you're studying that means that you present as needing counselling, and that can be accessed in-house at Liverpool Hope, which is fantastic. We know, unfortunately, waiting lists are long, we know that it's quite difficult to access these services in some parts of the country, so having the dedicated counselling team at the university just means that you're able to access that support that little bit easier, and right on your doorstep. So the counselling team are a fantastic resource available to you. As well as that, we do also have mental health support. So very similarly, it might be that you have a mental health concern that you're coming to university with, and you want to make sure that the support will be in place to help you manage that condition whilst you're with us. Or it may be that something presents itself whilst you're here studying at home. Now that dedicated team are there, and they're able to support you if you need someone to chat to, if you need some support, if you maybe need a referral to, for example, the counselling service or to external services in the city, the mental health service can facilitate that for you. And they're a wonderful team that are there essentially just to support students. So that's a support service available to you. With that, I know I said previously that you're welcome to contact us in advance to let us know about any support that you may require. That's the case for the mental health and counselling team. If that's something that you feel like you may need support from when you join, get in touch early. It just means that we can put things in place for you before you've even arrived, so we're ready to go from day one. But that is available to all of our students throughout their studies. Similarly, we have disabled student support. So it may be that you have a disability and you need some adaptations, for example. So it may be that you need adaptations physically in the lecture theatres that you'll be using or in your accommodation, for example. Again, I'd say get in touch in advance, and what we can do is we can put an individual support plan in place for you where we identify the support that you need and we work with you to put that in place. It may be that you need, for example, for the lecturer to provide large print copies of their slides or things in advance, for example. It may be that you have dyslexia or dyspraxia or a condition that you require that extra support with. Our team are happy to support you with that. So get in touch at any point. It may be that you've never had an identified condition before and you need to be, for example, tested for dyslexia. That is something that the team can support as well. So that support service is available to you. As well as that, we also have our finance and student support team in terms of funding. So these are a team that are available to support you with things like applying for your student funding before you join us. So you may be entitled to a tuition loan or a maintenance loan to help cover your costs whilst you're studying with us. And that team can support you if you have any really specific concerns or issues there. It can be quite a difficult process, particularly if you've got an unusual circumstance at home. So that team are there to support you if you need that, as well as our team are as well. That having been said, they're also available to you when you join and when you're studying on the course. So we have had in the past, and this is something I would not recommend, so please don't take this as some advice from myself, but we do have some students who get, for example, their student loan and they have a wonderful freshers week. They go really, really hard in terms of having the most wonderful week, and they spend most of their student loan within the week. And it leaves them in a really difficult situation for the rest of the term until their next loan instalment comes through. Not something we'd recommend. But in those circumstances, we do have the financial team who are there to help. They can support you with things like making a budget, working out how to plan your money, or if needed, looking at how to access emergency support whilst you're studying with us. So that team are a really valuable resource that are available to our students. We then also have our careers and employability team. Now, these provide support in a slightly different way. So they provide support with maybe part-time jobs that you might want to look for. So you might want to work on campus. We have students who work for us speaking to prospective students. There are opportunities in the retail offerings on our campuses, in hospitality on our campus as well. You might want to work as an usher in our theatre over on our creative campus, or to get a part-time job in the city. They're there to help you with that as well. So they support you with all aspects of work and employability whilst you're studying with us, and then hopefully to get you a job and help you get a job afterwards as well. So I don't know, Laura, did you interact with our careers service very much?
Yeah, so I got a job in the Capstone Theatre as an usher. So I did that from second and third year. So they helped kind of facilitate that, or the process with that. And I also did an internship with an awards called the Leaders Awards. So that was through the university. And they helped kind of facilitate that, get me contacted with the right people, and really supported me throughout the whole internship. So it was really good, really beneficial. And they were great. You could kind of just pop in, ask any questions you needed about like applications, they help with like interviews if you need any practice for stuff like that. So yeah, it was a really good service when I accessed it.
Wonderful, fantastic. So that careers team are available to you, that you're welcome to access them. We then also have student accommodation. So as you'd imagine, if you are a student who's looking to come and stay with us on one of our halls of residence, you may have issues, I don't know, the lights go at some point and you need to someone to come and replace the light bulbs, or your fridge stops working or anything like that, the student accommodation team are there to support you. We also find that students do struggle a little bit with homesickness, particularly during the first couple of weeks of the first term. Completely understandable. It can be your first time living away from home, maybe living with new people in a new environment. It can be quite difficult, and the student accommodation team, as well as all of our other support services, are there to help you, and they have resources available to support you should you need to. They're also able to help in the student accommodation team if for any reason you were to need to, for example, move accommodation, or look at alternative options. They're available to you as well. So you're welcome to contact the accommodation team now, or when you join us, the accommodation team are always happy to help. So that was a really, really brief overview of some of the support services. Now, what I have and what I'll play for you shortly is we have a video as presented by one of our student development and wellbeing team, looking more in depth at some of these support services and what they can offer. So what I'll do is I'll play this video. If you've got any questions throughout, feel free to put them in the Q&A function, and then myself and Laura will come back at the end with any questions that you may have. Also, just to say at this point, we do have a drop-in session tomorrow at 1 p.m. Hopefully you got that through on your Summer of Hope timetable. And in that, the head of our student support services, John Ryan, will be present tomorrow, and he'll be doing a drop-in Q&A session with you. So if you have any really specific questions or anything that myself and Laura can't answer maybe, or any specific things that you want to speak to John about, I would encourage you to come to that tomorrow at 1 p.m. So that is an option for you as well. So what I'll do is I'll play this video now, but we are still available if you do have any questions at all, and we'll come back after the video.
Hello, my name is Andy Moorcroft and I am the Student Wellbeing Officer at Liverpool.
Sorry, everyone, I just realised I may have just muted the video there. I'll start that one again.
Our mental
Apologies.
health and wellbeing advisors, who are professionally qualified mental health practitioners, can offer more practical support to anyone who is concerned about their mental well-being. They can do this in a number of ways, including confidential one-to-one advice, guidance and support for any student with a pre-diagnosed mental health condition, advice and support for students experiencing mental distress or difficulties with their general mental well-being, referral or signposting to appropriate support and services both within and outside of the university, and, at the student's request, liaison with university departments on their behalf. University life can be demanding at times. Counselling provides an opportunity to discuss any difficulties students may be experiencing in their life with a professionally trained person in a confidential environment. The university provides a professional and confidential student counselling service to help students with any personal issues that may be affecting their studies, self-esteem, relationships, emotional or general feelings of well-being. Counselling can equip them with new ways to think about an issue or problem they may be experiencing, while helping them to manage things better and feel more in control. Our counsellors work in a non-judgmental way, respecting students' values and beliefs, and with the aim of offering them the best opportunity to change things for the better. There are several ways in which to access counselling and mental health support. Firstly, They offer one-to-one telephone or Zoom appointments Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. during term time. To arrange an appointment, students can email the team on sdw@hope.ac.uk. Students will be sent a confidential registration form to complete before their first appointment. There are also daily drop-in sessions for students who require urgent assistance, and they can talk to a member of the Wellbeing team. The drop-in times are Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m, and a drop-in session can be booked on the morning of the preferred drop-in date by emailing sdw@hope.ac.uk. For more information about this service, please click the link on screen to visit the university's web pages. The Learning Support Team at Liverpool Hope University provides advice and assistance to students with a disability, specific learning difference, additional learning need, or long-term medical condition. Our Learning Support Team can also assist students who, during the course of their studies, develop a health issue that would benefit from additional support. So who is eligible for support? Well, on screen are just a few examples of the types of impairments that the team will be able to offer support in. If you've received support whilst you were in school or college, or if you're unsure whether you will be eligible for support, then please do contact the team for more information. The needs of each individual student will determine what support they will require. Here are several examples of what support can be offered. The team can offer advice on how to be assessed for dyslexia. They can assist in the application for disabled students allowance to help fund any additional support. They can assist in ensuring that students obtain the best university accommodation based on their needs if they are planning on staying in halls of residence. For example, getting wheelchair accessible accommodation or the installation of an emergency alarm or alerting system. They can create an individual personal emergency evacuation plan, or PEEP, for students living in halls of residence. They can create a learning support plan, or LSP, which communicates the students' adjustments to university staff. And they can answer queries or direct students to further sources of information or advice if needed. Here is some brief information about the Disabled Students Allowance, or DSA. DSA is designed to meet the essential additional study costs that disabled students incur due to having a disability. The DSA is a grant, not a loan, so it won't need to be repaid back, and only UK students can receive DSA funding. DSA funding will not impact or affect any other welfare or disability benefits that the student may be receiving, and the funding does not depend on the age or income of the student. Most students only need to apply once for the funding, and it should continue for the duration of their course. Now, to receive DSA, the student must meet the Equality Act definition of a disabled person. For more information about DSA, please visit the university web link on screen now. The Learning Support Team also offers one-to-one appointments via telephone or Zoom, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. throughout term time. The team aims to offer help as quickly and as conveniently as possible. For further inquiries or to make an appointment, please email the team on sdw@hope.ac.uk. The team also provide daily drop-in sessions and they take place on Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And a drop-in session can be booked by emailing stw@hope.ac.uk on the morning of the preferred drop-in date. For further information on the learning support services available at Liverpool Hope, please visit our website on the link on screen now. As I mentioned at the start of this presentation, I am the Student Wellbeing Officer here at the university. Now, one of the roles within my job is to assist and support any student who identifies as a care leaver or is estranged from their parents or family, or who cares for a family member or friend with an illness or disability. Now, when you're completing any application forms in relation to your studies, whether they're for the university or for student finance, for example, it's really important that if you do identify as a care leaver, a carer, or a estranged student, that you complete the relevant section on the application form. This will just help a great deal when your application form is getting processed to ensure that you receive the correct support. Now, I'm the main support contact for these cohorts of students throughout their studies at Liverpool Hope. And another thing that I do is I send out important and useful information via email at key points throughout the year. These include the run up to the Christmas and Easter breaks, as well as before and during the exam season to offer any advice and guidance on how to look after your well-being during these times. If you've got any further questions or you need further assistance during your time at university, then you're more than welcome to get in touch with me. I've put my email address on screen now, and I'll be more than happy to help. So please do get in touch. In addition to this, for care leavers, I can act as a supportive link between yourself, the university, and your local authority, as well as a supportive link between you and your course tutors or faculty staff, should you need it. I can signpost you towards other university services and support that could be available to you, as well as offering advice regarding any financial support and guidance available to you during your studies. I can help in securing access to university accommodation for 365 days a year whilst you are at university, and I'm also there as someone to talk to should you need it. Now, if you're unsure whether you qualify as a care leaver or not, then please visit the website on screen now. These are an organisation that offers support to care leavers, and they have a short questionnaire on their website, which when you complete, it will let you know whether you fall into the category of a care leaver or not. Again, for estranged students, I can act as a supportive link between yourself and your faculty staff or course tutors should you need it. I can signpost you towards any other university support services that are available to you should you need them. I can offer advice regarding financial support that could be available to you during your studies, and I can help in securing access to university accommodation for 365 days a year whilst you are studying. And again, I am there as someone to talk to should you need it. For more information about what we can offer estranged students, then please visit our webpage, which is on screen now. And finally, for young adult carers or those with caring responsibilities, again, I could be a supportive link between yourself and your course tutors should you need it. I can signpost you to any other university support services that are available to you. I can offer advice regarding any financial support and guidance from external agencies that could be available to you during your studies. And I could be there as someone to talk to should you need it. For further information about what support we can offer carers, please visit our university webpage. The link is on screen now. Moving away to uni can be both exciting and daunting. Here at Liverpool Hope, we want to make sure that your transition process is as enjoyable and as stress-free as possible. We have a whole support network in place to make halls your home away from home. In each hall, there is a senior resident tutor, or SRT, who will be your main point of contact if you ever need any help. The SRTs are current or recently graduated students, so have all lived in halls and experienced the highs and lows of moving away from home for the first time. There is also the residential life coordinator, Laura Seddon. She is also a point of contact to support and assist students living in halls. One way in which the residential life team aim to promote a good social support network is through Gala Dinners. These happen each term and they give students the chance to socialise with others in their halls. There is also Hope Social, who produce the What's On guide, and they organise all of the social events for both the induction week and for each month throughout the year. Again, this gives students plenty of opportunities to socialise and mingle with their peers. If you do have any further questions following on from this presentation, then please do get in touch. You can email student development and wellbeing at sdw@hope.ac.uk. And for further information, you can visit our university web pages. Thank you very much for listening.
So hopefully you found that video to be useful, delivered by Andy from our Student Development and Wellbeing team. Andy is a fantastic resource available for students when they do join us. So hopefully you'll get to meet Andy when you come and join us in October. Now, we have the opportunity now for any questions. If anyone has any initial questions, myself and Laura are happy to help. Anything you'd like to know about general support at university life. And then I've just put a little reminder on there. We do have tomorrow, as I said, Thursday the 29th of July, our Support at Hope Q&A, which is taking place at 1 p.m. So if you do have any specific questions or anything a little bit more in depth, you're welcome to pop along to that, where John Ryan from our Student Development and Wellbeing team, he will be available to answer any questions that you do have. So I'll give us a minute now just to see if any questions do come through.